What do you do if you have maximalist decor taste, but your bedroom is anything but maximal? In fact, it's tiny. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to create a maximalist oasis in your small bedroom based on my experience in cramming all the maximalism I could into my own tiny apartments over the years. For example, our bedroom here is pretty damn tiny, but I think we've done a good job of creating the maximalist aesthetic in here despite its small size. And if you're new here, my name is Steffi, and on this channel I give small apartment styling tips and cozy living inspiration. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely hit subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever a new video goes up. So my first tip for creating the maximalist decor look in a tiny bedroom is to keep in mind that it's about attitude, not clutter. A lot of people, minimalists, say that maximalism is just clutter, that it's just romanticizing the idea of a messy room, and that could not be further from the truth. Maximalism is not just clutter, it's an attitude. And when executed well, it shouldn't feel like clutter. This is good news for us small apartment dwellers because it means that we don't need to cram a whole bunch of stuff in our tiny apartments in order to achieve maximalism. So in order to make maximalism work in your small bedroom or anywhere in your small apartment, you first need to shift your mindset that maximalism is about attitude, not clutter. With maximalism, it doesn't matter how many things you have. It's about buying the right things, the things that convey the maximalist attitude. Okay, now that we've covered the maximalist mindset and attitude, let's get into some of the more specific decor tips that I have for creating maximalism in a small bedroom. So my next tip is to use wallpaper. Wallpaper is an excellent way to make a big maximalist decor statement in your bedroom in one fell swoop without taking up any space. So it's perfect for a small bedroom because it doesn't take up any space. Like if you put up just one big accent wall with a dramatic print, then your maximalism is pretty much just taken care of in that one action. For example, imagine this room without the wallpaper. Then after we put up this wallpaper, suddenly this became a maximalist bedroom. Like if we did nothing else in this space, it would still be a maximalist bedroom just because of the wallpaper. So if you have a tiny bedroom, I highly recommend doing a big statement wall with wallpaper because it pretty much does all of the maximalist heavy lifting for you without taking up additional space in your small bedroom. By the way, we used peel and stick wallpaper. I will link to it below. It's an Etsy shop that sells incredibly beautiful wallpaper, and the majority of this shop's wallpaper is very maximalist style friendly. So definitely check them out. Again, I'll link to them below, and I'll also link the video where my boyfriend Kobe and I put up this wallpaper so you can see what the whole process is like. My next tip is kind of the opposite of the last one, which was all about making one big statement that kind of just takes care of the maximalism for you. This one is about zeroing in on the small details that don't take up that much space. There are a bunch of things in our apartment that are small in size, but they pack a punch when it comes to the statement they're making. And it was the same thing in my last apartment, which was a 500 square foot studio apartment. That was a tiny space, but I think for all intents and purposes, it was a pretty maximalist space. So here are a few examples of how I have conveyed maximalism through small decor details. There's this sparkly decorative pillow that basically acts like a disco ball when the light hits it right. I mean, if a sparkly fairy explosion in your apartment isn't maximalism, I don't know what is. I've also utilized large faux floral arrangements. One of my favorite places to get faux florals and plants is World Market, and I made a video all about shopping for that, which I will link to in the description below. So go to a place like World Market and check out their larger stems and their larger vases and see if you can put together a kind of a larger scale faux floral arrangement. You can also do it with real flowers, but they die, so. And what's great about creating a large floral arrangement is that even though it may be large in size, it still doesn't take up that much physical space in the apartment. It really is more vertical space that it takes up. So in that sense, it's great for making a big statement in a physically small space. Also, your choice of lighting is a great opportunity for making a maximalist decor statement in your space, because you're probably going to have lamps in your apartment, so why not choose lamps that convey the maximalist aesthetic? I mean, both of these lamps that I have in here, you could argue that these are pretty maximalist lamps. They're small, as desk lamps and dresser lamps should be, but they convey a big statement. Like, there's drama in them. There's sparkle, there's gold, there's brass, there's marble. You know, lamps like these may be small, but they pack that dramatic maximalist punch. So this tip is really just all about finding all the little ways that you can convey maximalism, all the little decor pieces that may be small in size, but convey that sense of drama, and they don't take up physical space in your little apartment or bedroom. My next tip for conveying maximalism in a small bedroom is to focus on texture. We just covered choosing small objects that convey that sense of drama, that don't take up very much physical space, but then there's also texture. You can express maximalism through texture. This means choosing materials that convey a sense of decadence. At the risk of stating the obvious, even if you live in the tiniest apartment in the world, you still have to buy furniture, and you still have to buy blankets and a bedspread. You know, these are things that you must have. So we're not even talking about buying things that just clutter up a space and just add, you know, clutter to the space. These are things that you will be buying regardless of how tiny your apartment is. So when shopping for things like your bedspread, like your nightstand, like your decorative pillows, think about choosing materials and fabrics that convey maximalism. For example, in my studio, I chose area rugs that conveyed a sense of drama. They instantly created a sense of maximalism without taking up additional space. Another example is anytime you can incorporate a material like velvet in your space. There's something luxurious about velvet. So like our velvet bedspread here, its velvety texture combined with its kind of eye-popping greenish gold color, that conveys a sense of maximalism. And again, we all need bedspreads. It's not like you're taking up additional space in your small bedroom by getting a bedspread. You need a bedspread. So if you want to convey maximalism in your bedroom, choose a bedspread that conveys that sense of drama. Even your physical furniture can convey a sense of maximalism. For example, the nightstand that I got when I was living in the studio is a perfect example of choosing a piece of otherwise average furniture. You know, nightstands are your pretty run-of-the-mill furniture thing. But this nightstand has this ornate pattern. It has this silvery material that catches the light in a certain way that makes it feel elevated. It makes it feel more dramatic than a basic wooden nightstand. So if you really want to create maximalism in your small bedroom, then approach your shopping with the intention of buying things that convey the drama of maximalism. And my final tip for creating maximalism in a small bedroom is definitely more of a practical one, but it is important, and that is to make sure your storage game is on point. This is how we make a small bedroom feel like it's a stylish, maximalist bedroom that is intentionally maximalist, rather than just a cluttered, messy bedroom, which is really tough in a small apartment, which is why I made a video about it, which I will link to it below. In this video, I give you my storage tips that we have employed in our apartment. So I'm not going to go into my storage tips in this video. Just watch that video if you want my storage tips. But basically, if I were to sum up storage in relation to achieving a maximalist decor vibe in a bedroom, it would just simply be that as small apartment dwellers who want to achieve the maximalist look, we have to be super intentional about what takes up space. Do you want your limited space to be taken up by random clutter that doesn't contribute to the style of your space? Or do you want to dedicate the limited physical space that you have to the style that you've been yearning for? The style that you connect with and that would just contribute to your overall mood every day. Whether it's maximalism or not, I mean, even minimalism, any style you want to achieve in a small space, just think about all the little ways in which you are creating that style with intention versus the ways you are detracting from it. And let me tell you, random clutter will kill the style that you are going for, whatever style it is. Again, I will link to my storage tips video that I recently did if you want to hear me go more in depth into actual storage tips. So those were my tips for creating a maximalist look in a small bedroom. And frankly, these tips can easily apply to really any area in your small apartment. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite way that you exude the maximalist style in your apartment? If you are indeed a maximalist. I mean, if you're not, then I would just love to hear your thoughts about maximalism versus minimalism. I frankly am pro both. You know, I tend to be more on the maximalist side, but I also really do love minimalism as well. So if you are a minimalist who was hate watching this video, please tell me in the comments below why you prefer minimalism to maximalism. Let's just geek out about whatever decor we like together in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're into small apartment tips and cozy living inspiration. And remember, your apartment is destined to be pretty, and you are pretty powerful.